Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things aviation. Angelo Dube here, welcoming you back. Today we are discussing a very tricky question. Can you land an aircraft on a highway, a busy public highway? Of course we know helicopters do this all the time, emergency helicopters, rushing in for medical emergencies. They do land on roads if they are responding to accidents or anything, or situations where somebody has to be airlifted. We know that policing and law enforcement aircrafts are always doing the same. Usually it's their helicopters landing on busy public streets in order to enforce the law. But the real question then is, can you land your fixed wing aircraft on a busy public highway? Let's say it's your Charlie 172 or it's a Piper, and can you then point it towards a public highway and say, okay dude, we're going to use this highway as a runway? Are you allowed to do so? Of course, South African law is clear on that there are three instances where you can land an aircraft on a public road. The first instance where the law allows you to land on a public road is when there's an emergency involving the safety of the aircraft or any of the occupants. The second instance is when you need to land on that public road for purposes of saving a human life. Now, this is where we talk about medical emergencies, helicopters landing to airlift sick persons or patients off the road, or where police land their helicopter on that road in order to perform law enforcement duties. The third instance is where the aircraft is being landed on that road in order to perform law enforcement duties, or what is called public defense purposes. Of course, this is South African law. It's similar in many jurisdictions, and pilots are taught these laws and they're examined on them. When they write their LO exam, they need to pass that particular question as well, so that we don't get cowboy pilots landing in the middle of the highway with no reason at all. So pilots are not only trained in the law on where to land or when to land in a public road, they're also trained on what we call emergency procedures, what to do if an engine packs up and you need to then land it in the nearest open field. Of course, a good pilot is always situationally aware, looking around for suitable emergency landing fields en route. So even as he flies, he knows if my engine was to pack up now, I would choose that field because it's more suitable. The wind is with me, the length is okay, the slope is okay, the terrain is also okay. It will not necessarily mess up my landing. But what if there aren't any suitable fields, in the vicinity? Or the pilot's calculations actually reveal that if he chooses a particular field, he most probably will not make it, or that field won't be suitable because of the glide distance that he has to put in between himself and that particular field. What if the most suitable field is the public road or the public highway right in front of him? What does the pilot do then? Of course, in such situations, the pilot has to choose the public road. He must prepare his aircraft for landing. He must go through his emergency procedures, always remembering the cardinal rule ANC: aviate, navigate, communicate. He has to control the aircraft. That's the primary goal, and then navigate towards his intended field of landing. And only then can he worry about whether he's communicated sufficiently. But if the highway in front of him is the only thing he has at that particular moment, he has to go for it. Indeed, he has to look out for a number of things. He has to be on the lookout for wires. He has to be on the lookout for signposts. He has to be on the lookout for off-ramps and on-ramps, those bridges that go across the highway, over the highway. Of course, if you're in Gauteng, the pilot would have to look out for e-tolls, those e-toll countries as well. Wind, he also needs to know which direction the wind is going. But at that moment, he probably will not have enough time to choose the most suitable wind direction. He must work with what is available in front of him, because at that point the whole idea is for him to safely land the aircraft without hurting himself or hurting someone on the ground. So the pilot must choose the most open portion of the highway if such a choice is available to him or her at that particular moment, because remember, she has one shot at this. The engine has packed up, the aircraft is gliding, and there's no way he or she can gain altitude. It's going down. It's just a question of maintaining the altitude until she or he touches the ground safely. Should this pilot land into or against traffic? Of course, there are different ideas or different schools of thought in that regard. Some would argue that landing into traffic means that the pilot will be more visible and therefore oncoming traffic will be able to stop in time and avoid him. But there's no guarantee for that, because I think there's much more of a conflict if you land into oncoming traffic than if you land with the traffic. Landing into traffic, you risk a head-on collision with that particular traffic that is coming in towards your direction, compared to if you land with the traffic. You can glide and land right in front of the traffic that is there, and as soon as you are about to flare, the traffic behind you will see you and they will slow down and avoid you. Of course, whichever direction you choose, the critical thing is once you've landed, clear the runway. Oh, of course, it's a temporary runway. Clear the highway to the side. Don't cause a traffic jam for no reason. I mean, direct your aircraft to the side, and of course, you will have to call it in and the paperwork to be filed for reporting that particular incident. And yeah, that's basically what landing on a public highway entails. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and if so, please do click the like button and do not forget to subscribe and to urge others to subscribe. This channel can only grow and reach out to fellow upcoming African aviators if we grow it this way, if you support it this way. We thank you for your support. We've been seeing the subscriptions, we've been seeing the feedback on social media, we've been seeing the comment section, and we really appreciate that. The channel is growing because of your support. Indeed, remember that our motto is, with every hour the cockpit beckons. Whatever you do right now, make sure that that hour is adding towards your collection of hours required to take you into the cockpit. So keep adding those hours, whether it's an hour of studying, whether it's an hour of doing research, whether it's an hour of watching this channel, whether it's an hour of telling others about this channel. Keep adding those hours, because with every hour the cockpit beckons. Until next time, Angela Dube saying cheers.